Find the t-values such that the area in the right tail is 0.02 with 19 degrees of freedom. So for these types of problems, these t-values, instead of a z-score, now it's a t-value, so a t-score idea. We're going to do two different ways. I'm going to show you the t-distribution chart, and then I'm also going to show you how to use the calculator to do it. So for the chart, what we need to take to note, we need to know this number right here, this 0.02, so that's my tail value, and then my degrees of freedom, which is 19. So if we go to the chart, here this is your degrees of freedom, right? That's what degrees of freedom are right here. So this is what we need to work with, degrees of freedom. So we need 19 degrees of freedom. Our tail had a value of 0.02, so then we follow it down and match up with the 19 degrees of freedom. There's your value, 2.205. That's the answer. That is it. So that's if you want to use the chart, which I'm going to upload the chart later on. You have the t-value chart. If you want to use your calculator, for the calculator, you have to have at least an 84 or higher. So to turn it on, you would hit second, vars, right? We're going to the distributions. We're going to do an inverse t-score, basically inverse t-value. And then we hit the area, 0.02, and the degrees of freedom. And then we're going to hit paste. Now, this answer is going to come up negative, but we're going to always use the positive version. 2.2047 rounds up to 2.205. Same exact thing, same exact process. Whichever way you want to solve it, you solve it. So the next two, I'll use the chart for one, then I'll use so show you different methods. So answer here, 2.205. Find the t-value such that the area in the right tail is 0.1 with 32 degrees of freedom. I'm going to go to the chart. So 32 degrees of freedom, we're way down here. So we're roughly in this area, right? So we're somewhere here. 0.1 is what we need. No, 0.1. So then our answer would be close to this value right here. 1.310. Now this chart doesn't give you every single thing, right? So this chart isn't as clear, so I might have to find a better one. Go to the calculator. Same exact idea. Second vars, inverse t, 0.1, and 32 degrees of freedom. There's our area, 1.301. So not far off from this idea here. Next, find the t-value such that the area left of the t-value is 0.05 with 6 degrees of freedom. So now for this one, if you notice, the previous two were talking about the area to the right. The area to the left, for us, is a symmetric idea. In essence, our calculator will always calculate the area to the left. So I already plugged it in, 0.05 and 6. This is the area to the left of that t-value, negative 1.943. If we're going to use the chart, we'll do the same exact idea. We're going to find the 6 degrees of freedom right here, and then we need to look for 0.05. So now this is the area to the right. Since it is symmetric, then the area to the left is simply the negative value of this number. So then that would be our answer, negative 1.943. Calculator will always calculate to the left. T-value charts do it to the right. There you go. Find the critical t-value that corresponds to 95% confidence, assuming 16 degrees of freedom. So for that, we start off with a confidence idea, which is 95%. So we need to subtract that from 100%, which gives us 5%. I'll do the math right here. So 100% minus 95%. gives you 5%. This is just like that critical value, that half alpha. These are both tails added together, gives you 5%. We only need 1/2 of those tails. We only need a half of the tail. So we divide this by 2, we'll get 2.5%, which is 0.25. So then that's our value we're going to use here. And it's at assuming 16 degrees of freedom. So here's 16 degrees of freedom, 16, and then 0.025, 0.025. There's our answer, 2.120. So this is t-values.